Thank you for joining GBS News at 9. My name is Susan Nganga and our sign language interpreter tonight is Paul Mathenge. We begin this bulletin where the KEPSEA School Education Assessment and the Kenya Junior School Education Assessment, that is KJPSEA, exams began on October 27, 2025, marking a historic transition in Kenya's education system to the competency-based curriculum. The exams are significant as this is the first time over 1.1 million grade 9 learners are taking the KJPSEA exams to transition from junior to senior school, with the government assuring a smooth and transparent exam process. The KEPSEA for grade 6 learners runs from October 27 to 29, while the KJPSEA takes place from October 27 to November 3rd. Let's look at the report.
After, just apply that formula. You know the formula? Determination plus confidence.
Across the country, thousands of pupils and junior secondary learners have today begun their KEPSEA and KJPSEA examination, a major milestone in the country's transition to the competency-based curriculum. From Nairobi to Kirinyaga, education officials say the assessments kicked off smoothly with no major incidents reported. Learners arrived early, ready to take on the test that marked the end of their primary and junior school studies. According to the Ministry of Education, examination materials were dispatched on time to all centers under tight security. County education officers have been monitoring the process closely to ensure fairness and transparency.
We have issued the examination or the assessment papers to all our schools in Kirinyaga Central, and we have organized very well, including transport. The transport is well organized. We have several vehicles. I cannot maybe mention how many they are, but we have done very well as far as the organization of the examination is concerned, because we have done briefing of the examination to the various center managers in Kirinyaga. And
in a show of compassion, special arrangements have been made for learners with health challenges, including one KEPSEA candidate who is admitted at the Kenyatta National Hospital, who is sitting for the exam from his hospital bed.
We have one hardship case in Moya East. The candidate is in Kenyatta Hospital, but the examination arrangements have already been done.
Education officials across the country are praising teachers, parents, and school heads for their cooperation and urging continued support for learners throughout the week.
To assure that all centers are adequately staffed, we have enough supervisors and we have enough invigilators. As we are all aware, we are using primary school teachers, and we have ensured that all schools, both private and public, have adequate supervisors. We don't have a challenge in that area.
The government says the assessments are not just tests, but a key part of evaluating how the CBC system is preparing young Kenyans with practical knowledge and skills for the future. Momentum builds behind Dr. Oburu Odinga's interim leadership of ODM, the movement of the Defense Democracy, MDD, an outfit within the Orange Democratic Party, has called on the party's National Government Council to convene and quickly ratify Dr. Oburu Odinga as the ODM party leader. Dr. Oburu Odinga was declared the party's acting leader by the party NEC a day after the demise of Raila Odinga, who has been holding the position for the last 2 decades. Davis Karani reports.
Na leo kwa njia rasmi tutamwapisha Dr. Oburu Oginga as the new patron of MDD.
MDD, MDD. So we are gathered here today in Bondo at the home of Dr. Oburu Oginga, the party leader of ODM, as the movement for the defense of democracy. Here today, we have endorsed, we have confirmed, and we have bestowed upon Dr. Oburu Oginga the honors of being our patron, of being our captain, and being our leader.
He disclosed that Oburu will also take over as the patron of the MDD, which the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga patronized before he passed away.
We are here as a movement because it's a movement within the Orange Democratic Movement to support and endorse the position of the neck of the party, that Dr. Oburu Oginga becomes the party leader of the Orange Democratic Movement, the biggest and the largest party in this part of the continent.
He further stated that MDD will continue backing the broad-based arrangement with President William Ruto.
We are here with the entire delegation of MDD and all the coordinators across to assure and to reaffirm our position of supporting Dr. Oburu Oginga as the party leader of ODM. Number two, to assure and to tell our members that we are going to walk the journey together. The captain has gone, and we have a new captain who is going to take us to Canaan and to negotiate on our behalf and give us a political direction.
Fred Makajos, a member of the MDD, assured support of the new party leader, saying Oburu is the new captain who has the sole prerogative of negotiations on behalf of the party and Luo at large.
Sisi tunamuunga Mheshimiwa Oburu mkono kama kiongozi wa chama cha chungwa, na pia kusema kwamba kutokea leo yeye ndiye ataongoza vuguvugu hili na tutakuwa chini yake vile baba alikuwa chini ya, tulikuwa chini ya baba, na tutasimama na yeye kwamba uongozi wa chama ni lazima yeye aweze kuchukua, na tunaomba chama chetu cha chungwa kwamba waweze kuitisha mkutano wa kuhakikisha kwamba Mheshimiwa Oburu ameidhinishwa kama kiongozi wa chama cha chungwa hivi karibuni, ndiposa chama chetu cha chungwa kiweze kuendelea vizuri.
Dr. Oburu Odinga, who received the MDD team at his home, committed to ensure ODM party will remain under the broad-based arrangement where the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga had left the party.
I would like to take this opportunity to welcome the MDD group for coming to condole with us during this difficult time when we have lost our leader and my brother, Raila Amolo Odinga. I don't take this for granted, for people who take their time to come and condole with us. And I also want to thank them for the honor of making me the patron of the movement.
Oburu gave thanks to the MDD group for endorsing him as their new patron, saying that he will work with the youthful outfit to ensure democracy prevail in the country. Davis Karani for GBS News.
And still on the ODM party, ODM has today held its first executive council meeting since the death of its long-serving party leader Raila Amolo Odinga. The meeting, held in a hotel in Westlands, marks a defining moment for the party as it seeks to chart its future without the man who has been its face for over 2 decades. For the first time since the passing of Raila Odinga, the party's National Executive Council convened under the interim leadership of Oburu Odinga and addressed the press on the questions in the minds of many about what is next for ODM. Let's take a look.
And a bridge builder par excellence. Every national milestone in the last 40 years of this country has the late Odinga's fingerprints on it. And each time he sacrificed personal ambitions and aspirations for national good. It is for this reason that in 4 straight elections, whenever our party leader was aggrieved by the results of an election, he would still extend an olive branch to the president in order to stabilize the nation and avoid dragging the country to the abyss in which we have seen many neighboring countries fall. Elected leaders and party officials bear a crucial responsibility to reach out to party members across the country to comfort and assure them that the journey of the late Raila Odinga is still on, and we will remain relentless until Canaan is yonder. Baba built his movement on the foundation of values of democracy, equity, inclusion, and truth. ODM is not just a political party, it is a covenant that we, the living, must now renew. Let us resist the temptation to scatter in despair or to fight over his political inheritance, as leaders often do when giants fall. Raila's true inheritance is not a name or a position, but a mission. That mission is to continue the struggle for a Kenya that works for all its children, regardless of tribe, class, or creed. We commit here in unison that, as we did during the funeral, that we will not be responsible for any breakup in the party or any unnecessary political turbulence that runs counter to Jacom's dream. I beseech the media to avoid the tendency for sensationalism and the incessant hunt for negative news within the party. ODM's biggest problem now will not be which faction is winning against which one, or whether indeed there exist factions within the party. Today, the Central Committee of the party has met and laid a firm foundation of unity upon which we can build on.
Delegates from Turkana County visited Bondo to mourn and celebrate the life of the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga in Kango Jaramogi in Bondo, Siaya County. They poured out their condolences, saying that Odinga was a leader they will live to look up to. Matthew Perez has this story.
We represent the entire population of Rangwe. We could not all manage to be here. We, the ones who have managed...
All the way from Turkana County, Turkana leaders and officials led by ODM Deputy County Chairperson Abraham Mikae arrived at the home of Odinga in Bondo, Siaya County.
We've come here as officials and delegates from Turkana to join the rest of Kenya in condoling and also in celebrating the life of our icon.
In unison, they came to comfort the family of the late ODM leader Raila Odinga almost a week after the nation witnessed the demise and historical burial of Kenya's top opposition leader.
We've come to join the rest of Kenyans, the family of Baba Raila Odinga.
In cheers, songs and dances, they celebrated his legacy and supported the installation of Siaya Center Oburu Oginga as the interim ODM leader, a party that just turned 20 years lately.
He rests and leaves us with Dr. Oburu, who is now the acting party leader for ODM. We look forward to supporting him, to working with him, and more so in strengthening the party even more, so that the legacy for Baba remains alive even for many years to come.
They reaffirmed their commitment to ODM party and former leaders saying that they are in ODM to stay. They rubbished leaders who seem to sponsor cracks in the ODM party.
Jacom was our leader. He still remains our leader, even there. We still follow the footsteps. Whatever he has stated that we should follow is what we are going to follow. We pray for unity of the Luo community and the people of Nyanza as a whole. The way we have been united, let this departure of Jacob not bring cracks, not bring disunity, and not bring despondency amongst our people.
Matthew Perez for GBS News.
And with that, it is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into our social media platforms at GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is always 21144. We'll be right back.
Hello kids, and welcome to Kids Mind, where we learn, we laugh, and we explore. Once upon a time, there lived this beautiful, kind, and humble lady named Esther. She lived with Mordecai for a very long time until she grew as big as me. Before Esther was not named Esther, her name was Hadassah. In our today's Bible story, I mentioned 5 characters. Who are they? Mordecai, King Xerxes, Esther, Haman, and Haggai. Esther represents me. Esther represents me.
Today we're going to be discussing dream chasing versus stability. Dream chasing versus stability.
Okay, dream chasing nayo ni ngumu. Juu unaweza kuwa una chase impossible dreams. But yet unaweza kuwa una chase possible dreams. So wewe tu ngangana na dream yako, one day one time utafika hapo.
Ukifika certain stage in life, make decisions peke yako, ndio ukiregret usikuwa na mtu wa kublame. Just go for it. Ndio kikikuuma ni wewe imeuma.
Kuramba.
Na iki work out pia all the best, because si kila time uta-fail na si kila time uta-succeed, but hauwezi jua kama hujajaribu.
Mimi nitakuja hapa nikudanganye, soft life. Wewe hujui hiyo soft life inatoka wapi? You guys just want to fly badala you take the stairs step by step. Obviously mtu wako pale juu alianzia somewhere. You can't tell me ati kama kuna alternative utafanya, si basi wewe fanya if that's what you want. Would you rather earn less doing what you love ama earn more doing what you hate?
Mimi hata sita kudanganya ati si ati napenda kukufia nchi yangu just because of the money that is there. Si ati anapenda kukua KDF, but it's because of the money that is there.
Okay, men are not smart like women. I'm
Yeah,
going to
true.
say that
That's
for a
true.
fact.
If
Right now,
that is
true. If me and Rachel say to pay 1 million, tupe mwaka moja, hiyo million itakuwa hata maybe 10. But if a man unashikangwa tu na kiburi, sasa ndio unavaa.
Most of your work inakuanga mixed media. Unaweza explain what mixed media means in the art industry? Would you rather design a game character or a movie poster? What's the best advice ushaipata in your art journey so far? The best advice mtu alikuja akakwambia advice yenye hadi wa leo inakusukumanga to keep on going with your art journey. Do you draw more with music or in silence? Is there anything about being an artist that unaonanga watu wana misunderstand about being an artist?
First time nilijua napenda kuchora ama najua kuchora nilikuwa 7. So nikiwa primary, that's where I fell in love with art.
You are 7 years ama grade 7?
7 years.
Oh, okay.
Maybe grade 1.
Oh yeah, grade 1, grade 2. Oh, yeah. Do you think artists wanafaa kuchora ama kupaint every single day?
Yes.
Why?
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the bulletin. And now, President William Ruto has announced plans to mobilize 1.5 trillion shillings to build an additional 10,000 kilometers of new tarmac roads across Kenya, saying improved infrastructure is key to driving economic growth and supporting farmers. Ruto was speaking during the launch of the Mau Forest Complex Integrated Conservation and Livelihood Improvement Program in Nakuru County. Matthew Perez reports.
Barabara yenu ya kutoka Nairobi kuja Nakuru mpaka Mau Summit, na sasa nimesema sitaki ikwame Mau Summit, nataka iende Kericho, iende Kisumu na iende Eldoret, iende Malaba.
Voicing out during the launch of the Mau Forest Complex Integrated Conservation and Livelihood Improvement Program in Nakuru County, Ruto said that the government will establish a national infrastructure fund to finance the ambitious projects. He said the fund will mobilize resources through multiple sources, including the national budget.
Tumetafuta pesa, nyinyi mnajua kuna barabara nyingi tulizianzisha zikakwama kwa sababu pesa iliisha. Sasa tumepanga vizuri.
Ruto emphasized that expanding Kenya's road network is vital to linking producers to markets, a boost to the rural areas.
Mimi nimetembea Kenya mzima. Shida kubwa wananchi wanasema ni barabara. Wananchi wanahitaji barabara. Na ni kweli.
He said the government must think outside the box to attract private investment into the infrastructure projects instead of relying solely on public funds.
Kama tungesema tuweke pesa ya budget ya serikali katika hiyo barabara hatungejenga. Kwa hivyo, we have to think outside the box if we have to build enough roads in the Republic of Kenya. We have to bring investments from the private sector. We have to go to the capital markets to raise resources, and we have to build more resources in our budget.
The announcement comes as the government faces growing demands for better infrastructure to support agriculture, trade and industrialization. Many regions, particularly in rural Kenya, continuing to struggle with poor road networks that make it difficult for farmers to transport produce and for business to reach markets.
Kenya itabadilishwa kwa miradi na mipango ya maendeleo. Na ndio mimi nawauliza viongozi wote, sote tuungane, tushirikiane. Barabara zinahitajika kilomita 10,000.
The proposed fund is expected to complement ongoing national projects under the Kenya National Highways Authority (KENHA), the Kenya Rural Roads Authority (KERA), and the Kenya Urban Roads Authority (KURA). The president said his administration is ready and will soon be reaching out to Parliament to enact laws governing the fund and its use.
We need approximately 1.5 trillion ya kutengeneza hizo barabara. And we are going to Parliament ili tuanzishe hazina mpya ambayo inaitwa National Infrastructure Fund, ambayo sasa itatusaidia kuhakikisha kwamba tunajenga barabara za kutosha.
Matthew Perez for GBS News.
Ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba hiyo barabara imekamilika.
Public Health and Professional Standards Principal Secretary Mary Muthoni has directed public health officers nationwide to intensify a crackdown on butcheries selling uninspected meat, warning that traders are putting lives at risk ahead of the festive season when more families gather and consume meat. The PS has also sounded the alarm over rising drug exposure among children during the long school holiday, cautioning that manufacturers are repackaging nicotine products to target the youth as the ministry boosts surveillance and tougher enforcement, including at border points, to stop illegal substances from infiltrating the country.
I want to send a warning. Let us not eat uninspected meat during this period. Usiende kwako unakuta kuku inafifia, unasema wacha nichukue hii kabla ikufe. Ilishakufa. Usiende kwako ukakuta ng'ombe iko karibu kuanguka. Unasema iko tu sawa. Wacha tuangalie. Wacha tuonje. Hatutaki hospitali zijae this season. Please send this message. And I want to ask all the public health officers, kama kunao hapa, ingieni kazi. Wacha waende wafunge zile butchery zenye zinalete nyama zenye haziko inspected. Because you may not get it from home. Utapata kwa butchery. Na wale butcher ama merchants, wenye hizo butcheries, wenye wanapanga kwenda kuchinja punda na kuchinja mnyama ingine this season, tunawaambia tafadhali, Wakenya wanataka amani, Wakenya wanataka kuwa safe, Wakenya wanataka kuwa kama wako healthy, because our health is our wealth. Therefore, tuanzie na sisi wenye tuko kwa hii kanisa, tunawe mkono, tunawishe watoto wetu, tuwavalishe vizuri. Kama mtu amesikia amegonjeka kidogo, tafadhali enda hospitali. Do not go to the chemist. And I insist, usiende kununua dawa kwa chemist. Nenda hospitali. There is something called antimicrobial resistance. Ukijipea antibiotic sana, ile siku utagonjeka, mama yangu, baba yangu, dadangu, hautapona. Tukigonjeka, tunaenda hospitali. halafu tunapewa dawa by skilled healthcare workers.
And now to the county news. Narok Governor Patrick Ole Ntutu has reaffirmed his commitment to completing all ongoing development projects across the country, saying they are key to improving service delivery and transforming livelihoods at the grassroots. The governor spoke in Kian Ward, Transmara West, where he commissioned a new health center and an ECD facility aimed at enhancing healthcare access and early learning for residents. Let's take a listen.
Narok County is witnessing renewed focus on service delivery as Governor Patrick Ole Ntutu continues to commission key development projects across the county. During a development tour in Keyan Ward, the governor launched 2 major facilities expected to impact health and education services.
Ya kwamba leo tuko hapa Keyan Ward, Transmara West, ambayo mimi nina sunguka ama natembea kufungua projects zile ambazo tuliweza kumaliza mwaka wa 2023-2024 na sasa zimeisha, tuna handover kwa community. Kama hii ilianzishwa zamani kidogo na equalization fund, lakini sasa tumeleta equipment ambayo tumeweka hii hospitali ili tuhakikisha ya kwamba watu wetu wanatumia.
At Old Danyat, residents gathered to witness the opening of a fully equipped health center, a facility Governor Ntutu termed as a milestone addressing long-standing healthcare challenges. The governor says more doctors will be posted to the facility along the continuous medical supplies to ensure uninterrupted services.
Watu wa hapa walikuwa wanaenda mpaka huko Migori, wengine wanaenda mpaka pande ya Kilgoris ambayo ni mbali mno. Ndio mnaona tumeleta sasa hizi equipment na tutaongeza madaktari ili waweze kupata hiyo huduma ya afya.
In Enoretet, the governor also handed over newly built ECD classrooms aimed at reducing congestion in existing schools and promoting access to early learning closer to home. The governor added that 23 development projects, including markets, roads, and water infrastructure, have been delivered countywide in just 2 weeks.
Jambo la pili ni kwamba ninafungua zaidi ya projects 23 ambayo nimeanza last week, na hii wiki pia tunaenda kumalizia ili tuhakikisha ya kwamba tumemaliza sote. Leo pia tuko na soko yetu kubwa hapa ambayo inaitwa Rugweti, ambayo naenda kujenga modern market, ambayo sasa tutapata pahali ambao tutauza ng'ombe, tutauza kondoo, pia wakina mama watapata stalls.
As commissioning continues across Narok, the county government says community involvement will be key in sustaining the improvements made in essential services. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Paul M.
And now on to the business news. Kenya will next month take the spotlight in Africa's leadership development arena as Absa Bank Kenya partners with globally acclaimed leadership expert Dr. John C. Maxwell to host the inaugural Africa High Road Leadership Conference in Nairobi. The one-day summit, set for November 20th at the Sarit Expo Center, will convene professionals, leadership experts, and young emerging leaders from across the continent to explore how integrity, influence, and purpose can drive transformational growth in society and workplaces. Backed by a 3 million shilling sponsorship from Absa, the conference aims to equip participants with practical leadership tools, unlock new networking opportunities, and inspire a culture of mentorship, with Dr. Maxwell and Absa CEO Abdin Mohamed headlining the event as keynote speakers. And with that, it is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into social media platforms at GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is always 21144. We'll be right back with more international news.
majina ni Coach Martin Musili. I'm a coach, as I've stated. E-sport nilitambua since 2015, 2016.
Kuna sports mingi man, but nili kutiga kwa fencing.
Kwa e-sport kuna kitele, kuna pesa kweli.
In as much as tunaiplay, tunaitumia pia kama life skills. Si shule peke yake, pia corporates. Na tunakuja tunafunza strategic thinking. It can create an avenue for a scholarship. If maybe anacheza shule, a scholarship. Maybe anaweza advertise ile corporate.
Nini imekukip kwa game? Like ni strategy gani unatumia? Like unafeel strategy ndio imenyekanga hapa, ndio unafeel kupeleka mbali. Alafu utaniambia ni strategy gani imekumake unatumia as a player, ona ile strategy yangu inafanyanga na win game. Hata as a coach, ni strategy gani unaonanga hii nikitumia nasaidia player wangu kudefeat opponent wake. Requirements zangu ni nini? Nini nataka kwa fencer? What are the requirements?
All you have to be, as long as you can walk, you can move your arms, and you can think on your feet, you can fence.
Ili kujua mengi, jiunge nami Omala Brian kwenye GBS TV Sports Sugu Show. This is where passion meets the game.
Happy Friday, beautiful people. Welcome to the Blast Show. I will host the most. Irene Juguna.
Ndio nakwambia hapa live on the blast inakuaga ni show ya kukubamba. Tunakuletea what has been going on the week na zile mambo zinaendelea, na tunakupea vibe ya kuingia weekend.
Ya vitegeo mbona kinya umechange jila, washofeni hata kama wote na wachoma ila, remember me kwenye rap bands ni paka kufa, with the best man wakichonga wachonge na ziba nyufa, acha nife kwenye raft maana wewe dawa njoo unipe tu, nikichoka hasu na ninyosha unanipanga panga kwenye bedi tu, mapenzi yetu kayalinde hata kama wote watachonga tu. I'm an actor na kwa director pia.
Director wa acting ama so acting na music unazimerge aje pamoja, na umeact which type of ni movies ama drama ama series, na ulijua aje like unaweza act, unaweza rap?
Nimeact ni short movie, ni love short movie ambao nimeandika mimi, ka direct mimi, hasa nikacheza pia.
Hello kids, and welcome to Kids Mind, where we learn, we laugh, and we explore. Once upon a time, there lived this beautiful, kind, and humble lady named Esther. She lived with Mordecai for a very long time until she grew as big as me. Before Esther was not named Esther, her name was Hadassah. In our today's Bible story, I mentioned 5 characters. Who are they? Mordecai, King Xerxes, Esther, Haman, and Haggai. Esther represents me. Esther represents me.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the bulletin, and now to the international news. Cameroon is gripped by tension tonight as the country awaits the official results of its October 12 presidential election. Provisional figures from the National Vote Counting Commission show long-term leader Paul Biya, now 92 years old, in the lead with just over 53% of the vote. If confirmed, it will mark his 8th term in office, extending his more than 4 decades in power. But opposition candidate Issa Chiroma is rejecting those results. The former government minister, who once served under Biya, claims he won with about 60% of the vote, calling on the president to concede and respect what he says is the will of the people. Let's take a listen.
The winner, and in case somebody can demonstrate the contrary, we are ready.
Cameroon is a nation on edge Tension and uncertainty grip the streets as the country waits for the official results of its October 12 presidential election, an election that could either extend the rule of Africa's oldest president or usher in a new era of leadership. Provisional results from the National Vote Counting Commission show 92-year-old President Paul Biya leading with just over 53% of the votes. If confirmed, it will mark his 8th term, extending a rule that has lasted more than 4 decades. But those numbers are being fearlessly contested. Opposition leader Issa Chiroma, a former ally turned rival, insists he won the vote outright, claiming nearly 60%.
Does not prevent us from doing what we did. The electoral code prescribes to the manager of polling station to display openly the result in his polling station. We have chosen the most important division in the nation, 18 of them. We collected all the documents related to the report according to the law. When we completed the compiling of it, we noticed that we have more than 60%, and while the second was lagging behind with less than 30%. We did it openly, and we gave the opportunity to whoever would like to challenge what we did. But up to date, nobody can. We challenge them to demonstrate that what we said is wrong.
The dispute has sent shockwaves through the country. Thousands have poured into the streets, demanding transparency and a recount.
Power needs to change because there are people who are 40 years old who have seen the same people. At some point, things need to change, to also give others a chance to share their ideas and for the development of the country.
We voted, and we know that the majority of Cameroonians voted for the opposition of Mr. Issa Chimora. But today they're declaring the opposite, telling us that certain voting records were falsified. And even in the polling stations where we voted, we are receiving messages that contradict the report we had at the time of counting. It's truly regrettable.
Protesters accuse the government of manipulating results, citing missing voter names, late opening polling station, and opaque counting procedures. At least 4 people have been confirmed dead and dozens injured. The government is warning against what it calls unauthorized gatherings, accusing opposition leaders of inciting unrest. Several prominent activists have been detained overnight. President Paul Biya has been a leader of Cameroon since 1982, a time when today's young voters weren't even born. Susan Nganga, GBS News. And more on election. Tanzania is gearing up for its upcoming general election, but uncertainty clouds the political atmosphere as key opposition parties say they are not ready to participate as the National Electoral Commission moves forward with preparation for Tanzania's upcoming general election. Cracks are emerging within the political landscape. Opposition parties have raised concerns over what they term as an uneven playing field, claiming that conditions for free and fair elections have not been met. Leaders from major opposition groups, including Chadema and ACT Wazalendo, say they are not ready to take part unless significant electoral reforms are implemented. They accuse the government of President Samia Suluhu of dragging its feet on changes needed to ensure transparency and fairness in the polls. Chadema Secretary General John Minyika said the opposition cannot be part of an electoral process which he says, and I quote, designed to legitimize predetermined outcomes, end of quote. While ACT Wazalendo leader Zito Kabwe echoed similar sentiments, calling for dialogue between the ruling party and the opposition before the campaign period officially begins.
Today, I'm delighted to be back here in Zanzibar with only a few days remaining until election day. So those who said we have a matter to attend to in October, the matter is on the field now. So it's time to gear up and to go implement it. My call to you, my fellow citizens, is for all of you to go and cast your vote. Since we started the campaigns, the grounds have been packed. We have come in great numbers. However, these numbers will have no meaning if we do not translate them into votes in the ballot boxes. Let us fill the grounds, but also ensure the ballot boxes are filled. Let us participate in the election without any fear, because the security and defense forces of Tanzania are ready and are working to ensure the safety of the country and its citizens before, during, and even after the election.
We'll keep an eye on those elections and report as they develop. And now we shift the focus from elections to inclusivity, where President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has endorsed a long-standing request by the Indian community in Uganda to be officially recognized as one of the country's tribe, a move he says will cement their historical and economic contributions to Uganda's development. President Yoweri Museveni has backed a proposal seeking to grant the formal tribal recognition to the Indian community living in Uganda, a gesture aimed at fostering inclusion and acknowledging their deep roots in the country's history. Let's take a look.
Addressing members of the Indian Association of Uganda at State House Entebbe, President Museveni said the Indian community has long been an integral part of Uganda's social and economic fabric.
Regarding the issue of citizenship, that is very simple because we have examples. All these Ugandan groups came from somewhere. Even the indigenous tribes. You find some of them came from Cameroon, all the way here. Others came from Egypt, through Ethiopia.
Museveni noted that while Indians may have originated from Asia, many were born and raised in Uganda, contributing significantly to the nation's trade, health, education, and manufacturing sectors.
Our people of northern Uganda came not so long ago from Sudan. Then even in the time of the British, if you go to a place called Bombo, there is a group of people called Nubians. Even Idi Amin was like a Nubian himself. These Nubians came as soldiers of the British, and they stayed here. They are now part of Uganda. They are, if you read the list of the tribes, they are mentioned, the Nubian tribe. They live near Bombo. So the Bahindi is plural. If it is one, we say Muhindi. So the Bahindi definitely qualify because they came at the same time as the Nubians, because they were all initially brought by the British.
The endorsement comes after years of advocacy by the Indian community, which has sought official recognition to reflect their cultural presence and patriotic commitment to Uganda.
It's our great honor and joy to celebrate with you all Diwali, the Festival of Lights. As we gather here this evening at the State House, our hearts are filled with the warmth and spirit as we keep our Indian culture alive.
Mr. President and dear Mama, Nabantu Buna Abalyaha, Nimbala Musutia. Diwali is one of the most cherished and meaningful festivals in the Indian culture.
Community leaders welcomed the president's remarks, describing the endorsement as a historical milestone that strengthens national unity and national belonging.
Excellency and beloved Mama, we deeply value your inclusive spirit when you say that Indians are already a part of Uganda's society. It fills our hearts with pride and belonging, we humbly seek your continued support, your blessings toward formal recognition of Bahindi as one of the tribes in Constitution. A gesture that would symbolize the unity and diversity of this great nation. In support of that, we have a petition signed by prominent members of the community that we will humbly present to the Honorable Parliament.
The recognition, once formalized by Parliament, will make Indians the first non-African group to be officially classified as Ugandan tribe, a move expected to enhance cultural integration. As Uganda continues to celebrate its diversity, the move signals a new chapter in the nation's effort to embrace all who call it home. President Museveni's endorsement now sets the stage for further discussions in Parliament as Uganda looks towards an inclusive and a united future. Davis Karani for GBS News.
And now shifting the focus to what's currently happening in Asia. It is now time for a 3-day Asia visit after touring the Middle East days ago to declare a major development in regards to ceasefire between Israel and Gaza. US Trump landed in style in Malaysia, a country that played host to the Asian summit. Trump signed huge deals with Asian leaders, as Matthew Perez now reports.
U.S. President Donald Trump touched down in the southeastern nation of Malaysia in style as he was received by Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim for the 47th Annual Association of Southeast Asian Nations. The summit saw leaders from Indonesia, Vietnam, Laos, Brunei, Thailand, Myanmar, the Philippines, Cambodia, Singapore, and Malaysia gathered in Kuala Lumpur, not only to oversee the introduction of Timor-Leste to the Asian family, but also to celebrate Trump's historic broker deal between Cambodia
As we
and
sign a
Thailand.
historic agreement to end the military conflict between Cambodia and Thailand.
While in Malaysia, protesters gathered in Kuala Lumpur's Independence Square and the Ampang Park area of the city in separate demonstrations to oppose against Trump's support for Israel war on Gaza and also U.S. bulldozing imperialism.
You cannot veto ceasefire, but you claim you want to protect peace. You cannot deny climate crisis, but you claim you want to save the world. This is not right. The Malaysia and ASEAN countries are not for sale.
However, this didn't jeopardize the signing of a ceasefire deal between Cambodia and Thailand and annunciation of a number of trade deals, including joint trade statements with Thailand and Vietnam, elevated relations with Malaysia, and deepened U.S.-Cambodia cooperation on defense and transnational crime. President Trump also participated in the 13th annual U.S.-ASEAN Summit meeting. President Trump signed agreements on reciprocal trade with Malaysia and Cambodia, and the United States announced frameworks for trade negotiations with the broad Asian countries. Trump is expected to land in Japan for his Japan tour. Matthew Perez for GBS News.
And now to good news for President Javier Milei's supporters. Its party has pulled off a stunning win in the country's legislative elections, according to early results, boosting his ability to push forward with his radical overhaul of the economy, including free market reforms and deep austerity measures. Milei's party, Avanza, scored 40.84% of the votes cast for members of Congress, compared with 31.64% for the opposition coalition. Early results has shown. Let's take a look.
It was an unexpected victory for Javier Milei, despite implementing one of the harshest austerity plans in this country's history. His party won by the landslide on Sunday's midterm elections across the country.
This is the result of the mandate we assumed in 2023. Today, people from La Carga to Ushuaia confirmed that we are going to change the future of our country.
Nationwide, Milei's party, La Libertad Avanza, got 64 seats in the House of Disputes, up from 37. from 6 senators to 20. Milei's popularity has suffered in recent months due to public frustration with his cuts to public spending and a corruption scandal tied to his sister, who also serves as his chief of staff. For many, Milei managed to galvanize those who did not want a comeback from the Pyrrhons, led by former President Cristina Fernández and the governor of Buenos Aires, Axel Kicillof, who says the Peronist party will continue to fight for those in need.
We will continue to work for social justice, that our natural resources and our industry, our production and our people have to depend on Argentina and not on a foreign power.
U.S. President Donald Trump played a crucial role in the lead-up to the elections, providing Argentina with $20 billion swamp amid financial trouble. Trump said the United States will do whatever is necessary to prevent Argentina from becoming a failed state. Analysts say Milei needs to broaden his support base.
We need a Milei with a negotiating capacity that we have not seen so far. It's not part of his ideology or how we understand politics. He's still an outsider who's learning many things. He has an opportunity. Hopefully, he will use it.
Milei has managed to reduce his fiscal deficit and inflation. But for many, his biggest challenge is to reactivate an economy where millions continue to struggle and have not seen the benefits of his promised economic reforms. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Paul M. Minor.
And with that, we have come to the end of the news bulletin. It's always a pleasure having you on board. Let's do this again next time, same channel. My name is Susan Nganga, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Paul Mathenge. Have a good night.
Everywhere, GBS.